Welcome, dear viewers, to a journey unlike any other, a passage down the storied spine of the American West Coast. Here, where land meets ocean in a dramatic embrace, cities rise and fall, shaped by forces as old as the earth itself. We begin at the edge of ancient forests, where the air carries the scent of cedar and salt, and we move ever southward through valleys draped in mist and sunlight, to where the Pacific's restless waves meet bustling streets. But beneath the surface of these vibrant cities, a quieter transformation unfolds. Home prices, once soaring like the eagles overhead, now descend in slow, measured arcs. There is a hush, a breath held in anticipation, as neighborhoods shift and skylines subtly rearrange themselves. It is a time of suspense, uncertainty, and perhaps renewal. A drama playing out not only in numbers, but in the lives and landscapes that define these places. Our focus is not solely on the bricks and mortar, but on the living tapestry, the forests that cradle city boundaries, the wildlife that persists within alleyways and parks, the rivers that carve silent paths through bustling districts. Through reverent observation, we step inside these moments and places, feeling, if only for an instant, the weight and wonder of standing at the heart of change. In Seattle, the skyline forms a jagged silhouette against a canvas of rolling clouds and evergreen forests. Once, the city's glass towers reflected an era of unbridled growth, each crane on the horizon a promise of prosperity. Now, a quiet tension lingers in the air. Home prices falter, and the city seems to collectively exhale, its neighborhoods pausing in a moment of uncertainty. Even the great waters of Lake Washington and Puget Sound seem to flow a little slower, as if sensing the shift. Yet, life continues to pulse beneath the surface. Bald eagles perch silently atop high pines, their keen eyes watching both city and wilderness. The forests, ancient and enduring, press close against the urban edge, offering solace and a reminder of resilience. Here, the natural world and the man-made are locked in a delicate dance, each influencing the other in ways seen and unseen. As we wander Seattle's tree-lined streets or gaze across the mist-draped water, we become acutely aware of this transition. The sound of rain against rooftops mingles with the distant hum of city life, creating an atmosphere thick with anticipation. Here, among the emerald shadows, change is not merely witnessed, it is felt. Portland is a city shaped by rivers and rain, where the Willamette carves a silvery path through neighborhoods in flux. The familiar sight of eclectic houses and vibrant murals is now tinged with a softness, as if the city itself is gently loosening its grip on certainty. Home prices, once a source of feverish excitement, begin their downward drift, and a sense of quiet contemplation settles over the streets. In the early morning, a blanket of mist clings to riverbanks, softening the edges of bridges and buildings. Great blue herons wade silently through shallow waters, their patience mirroring the city's own sense of waiting. Squirrels dart between ancient oaks and maples, as if unaware of the shifting tides within the human world. All around, the rhythm of life endures, adaptable, persistent, quietly hopeful. To stand on a Portland street corner is to feel the city's pulse slow, to notice the details long overlooked, the movement of water, the call of a distant jay, the changing face of a neighborhood. It is a moment suspended, filled with both loss and possibility, as the city finds its way through uncertain times. San Francisco rises from the edge of the continent in a cascade of hills and hopeful dreams. Once the city's golden age seemed unassailable, a beacon of innovation and boundless opportunity. But as fog spills over the Golden Gate, there is a new story unfolding, one of uncertainty and muted expectation. Home prices, long the stuff of legend, now slip quietly, leaving echoes in the grand Victorians and empty storefronts. The city's iconic cable cars rattle up steep streets, their bells ringing through the mist like distant memories. Along windswept shores, sea lions bask on piers, oblivious to the economic storms gathering just beyond the bay. Gulls wheel overhead, their cries sharp against the hush that now envelops the city. To walk through San Francisco in these days is to sense both the weight of history and the fragility of the present. The fog, ever patient, erases and reveals in equal measure, a fitting metaphor for a city in transition, where hope and apprehension drift on the same breeze. Los Angeles, city of endless sprawl and golden sunlight, finds itself in a rare moment of quiet. Suburbs once thick with the sound of hammers and hopeful buyers now stretch out, hushed, beneath the expanse of California sky. The market, once feverish, has slowed to a contemplative pace. Home prices sink, and the city listens to its own heartbeat, a cadence marked by uncertainty. Along the Pacific coast, waves crash with ageless rhythm, their spray catching sunlight in shimmering arcs. Pelicans glide low above the water, shadows flickering across sand and surf. Inland, jacaranda trees shed their purple blossoms onto silent streets, a gentle rain of color amid the stillness. Wildlife, coyotes, hummingbirds, the occasional hawk, move through suburban gardens, reclaiming space as human activity wanes. Here, the line between city and wild blurs, and the sense of impermanence grows. To dwell in Los Angeles now is to inhabit a liminal space, poised between memory and possibility, where every sunset hints at change and every dawn brings a new uncertainty. San Diego, long celebrated as a sun-soaked paradise, now finds its golden sands and palm-lined boulevards touched by a softer melancholy. The city glows in perpetual sunlight, yet beneath the brightness, a gentle unraveling occurs. Home prices, once buoyed by dreams of endless summer, retreat like the tide, leaving behind a sense of wistfulness that drifts through neighborhoods and along the busy boardwalks. Ocean waves roll in steady procession, their white crests reflecting the city's enduring beauty. Sea otters twist and tumble in kelp beds, undisturbed by market fluctuations. Along the cliffs, gulls ride thermals, their silhouettes sharp against the blue horizon. In the distance, the city skyline shimmers, both present and distant, a mirage of what was and what might be again. San Diego's resilience lies not in its buildings, but in its embrace of change. Here, the promise of renewal is as constant as the surf, and the city, though altered, remains a place of hope and quiet strength. Sacramento, the city of rivers and golden fields, stands in a quiet pause. Streets that once bustled with possibility now wear an air of waiting. Home prices drift downward, and the sense of anticipation is palpable. The land here is expansive. Fields of wheat sway in the breeze, and the Sacramento River winds lazily past willow-shaded banks, its waters reflecting a patient sky. Wildlife moves in subtle harmony with the city's new rhythm. Egrets stalk the river's edge, their movements deliberate and unhurried. In shaded parks, rabbits dart through the undergrowth, pausing to listen for danger or opportunity. The city's pulse slows, echoing the gentle pace of the countryside that surrounds it. To linger in Sacramento is to feel the weight of potential, the knowledge that change is not only inevitable, but essential. Here, amid golden silence and the waiting land, the seeds of transformation are quietly sown. Oakland is a city of contrasts, where fortunes rise and fall beneath the watchful gaze of ancient redwoods. The city's neighborhoods, vibrant and diverse, now find themselves at a crossroads. Home prices, once surging, have begun to yield, and a sense of possibility mingles with uncertainty. City lights flicker beneath a canopy of towering trees, illuminating streets where change is both feared and welcomed. The redwoods, sentinels of time, stand unwavering as the city adapts around them. Squirrels leap from branch to branch, while owls survey the quiet below. Along the waterfront, the reflections of distant skyscrapers shimmer in moonlit ripples, a reminder that even the strongest structures are shaped by the currents of time. Oakland's spirit endures, forged in resilience and reinvention. Each new dawn brings the promise of renewal, and beneath the green embrace of the redwoods, the city's story continues to unfold, chapter by chapter. San Jose, heart of the tech revolution, now witnesses a transformation all its own. Once, innovation attracted newcomers by the thousands, driving home prices skyward and reshaping quiet neighborhoods into bustling hubs. Now, the energy softens. The hills that surround the city, green in spring, golden in summer, stand in silent witness as the market cools and the pace of change slows. Coyotes and deer move along the edges of suburban sprawl, reclaiming spaces where noise has faded. Urban parks, once crowded with hurried footsteps, now offer moments of stillness. A hawk circling overhead, the rustle of leaves in a gentle breeze. The city's tech-driven pulse, once relentless, now finds itself in sync with the ancient rhythms of the land. To experience San Jose in this moment is to feel the convergence of progress and patience. Here, the future remains unwritten, shaped by both human ambition and the enduring beauty of place. Santa Barbara, perched between the mountains and the sea, has long been a symbol of luxury and escape. Yet even here, where Spanish tiles glisten in the sun and bougainvillea spills over whitewashed walls, the winds of change are unmistakable. Home prices, once reserved for the few, now drift downward, creating a tension between legacy and loss. Beaches stretch in elegant arcs, the ocean's waves erasing and redrawing the shoreline with each tide. Dolphins leap in the surf, their grace a counterpoint to the city's silent uncertainties. High above, the mountains cast long shadows over manicured gardens and quiet streets, reminding all who stand here that even the most cherished places are not immune to transformation. Santa Barbara's beauty endures, but the horizon is tinged with questions. What will remain and what will be left behind? The answer, like the sea itself, is ever shifting, never fixed, always in motion. Tacoma, nestled between misty harbors and evergreen forests, is a city built on resilience. Here, the air is heavy with salt and memory, and the rhythm of life moves with quiet determination. Home prices, once climbing with the tide, now ebb, and the streets echo with the resolve of those who remain. Steadfast, hopeful, waiting for the next chapter. In the early hours, fog drapes the harbor in a veil of mystery, softening the outlines of ships and cranes. Bald eagles wheel above the water, their calls piercing the silence. Deep within the forests, moss clings to ancient trunks, a testament to endurance and the slow, steady power of time. Tacoma has weathered many storms, both natural and man-made. Today, it stands as a symbol of adaptation, a place where change is met not with fear, but with quiet strength. Here, amid the mists and evergreens, the story of the West Coast finds its enduring heart. As our journey along the West Coast draws to a close, we pause to reflect on the stories we have witnessed. Stories not only of falling home prices, but of landscapes and lives in perpetual motion. Just as the tides reshape the shoreline and the forests reclaim what is lost, these cities evolve, their destinies rewritten with each passing moment. The wild places that surround them offer a reminder of continuity, of beauty that persists even as fortunes rise and fall. The suspense that lingers in each city stems not from fear, but from possibility. In the hush that follows upheaval, there is space for renewal, a chance to imagine new beginnings. The rivers, the mountains, and the mighty Pacific endure, bearing silent witness to the cycles of change that define this coast. So, as you ponder the fate of these cities and the landscapes they inhabit, consider this: what stories will be told next? The future remains unwritten, suspended between hope and uncertainty. But one truth remains: the spirit of the West Coast, like its wilderness, will always endure.